What's up, guys? This is David Sikanemic Comics. All right, seems like I am the only one in the house. I don't think anybody will be joining us anytime soon, but if they do, just let me just, you know what? Hold on. I'll just paste the link here just in case if anybody wants to come and join me. And just to let you guys know, um, the, what's going on? Just having a problem with my connection. I don't think so, guys. Anyway, how am I doing? How you guys can hear me? Can you see me? If in the live chat, please just give me a thumbs up if you can hear or see me good. Um, how's my audio? Huh, you're having a very weak. Interesting. Very interesting. Anyway, how you guys doing on Tuesday evening? Hey, it looks like there's 4 people in the house. Like I said, if anybody wants to join in, I can able to have at least 4 more people live. We can talk about things, but there's just something that I want to talk about is there's a few videos that I saw. I thought it was a clickbait and didn't really watch the video, but I just thought that it was a pretty good East West comic. What's up, Joker M21? If you're not too busy, man, get on. Click on that link and we can talk about, are you a real comic collector? Are you not? Are you? Okay, good. So I don't know. It's kind of dragging, man. My connection. So I got up from East West. Also, what's up, Chrissy? How you doing? What's up, JP? How you guys all doing? Hey, JP. You know, every time you go live, man, I'm at work, so I'm sorry, but I do watch it on the rewind before I go to sleep. I put my earphone in and I listen, and sometimes your voice put me to sleep. It's not that you guys have a bad content. It's just that's the only time I have is like right now and thing. Uh, yeah, my audio, right? I thought so, man. How's it now? Is it good? Is it all good? Yeah, man, Chrissy. So, to the state of sultry sound of my yeah, JP. And you do have some very good voice. I can tell you that. Hey, Daddy, what's up, Joey? I don't know if there's going to be any guests, but just in case, if you guys want to join once again, the link to this live show, um, link to this. Sorry, like I said, my computer is kind of lagging. I don't know what it is. Hey, what's up, Tito? Hey, you cut your hair?
No, no, no. I just got in my little bunny thingy. Are you lagging? Are you lagged out? What's going on? Can y'all hear me? Hello, hello, hello. Joker, call me Toto one more time. All right. Well, I mean, I don't know what to do now. Maybe, hi, I'm Tito. So, David, you probably won't have to reset
What the
in this.
hell?
Did you hear me at all? So, yeah, how's everybody doing?
Yeah. Okay, let me see what I can do here.
David, I hear you good now. You're moving pretty well. Well, not anymore. Yeah, you're still good. You're moving pretty well.
Are we good now?
Move your hand around.
You
Yeah, you're moving pretty good now.
okay? I don't know what happened. I closed. I was going to show some slides and show some things on to share my screen, but I think that was the one that kind of lagged because I'm using a tablet instead of a computer, so that could be it.
Well,
Hey,
yeah,
but thanks Tito for joining me. But my question to you: did you cut your hair?
no, it's still there.
No. Oh, okay. No, no, don't no need to bring it down. Okay. No, the way you had it look as though if you had your hair cut and stuff. So hey, look, we got Spidey fan. We got Spidey fan in the house. We got East meets West Comics. Mike M20, Joker M21, Hazel Dan, all about Comic JP, Chrissy Queen of Variants are here. So we got about 9 people. I guess that's me included. So today there's a few things I want to talk about, and this is something that me and Tito, we're in a group in the Instagram, and I kind of put this topic out there. What makes you a real comic collector, and me and Tito had a very interesting ways of thinking our opinion, what our thoughts about what it takes or what it is to be a comic collector. So you want to jump on that topic right now, Tito? Since I think this is the reason, one of the reason why you're on here today.
Yeah, I mean, I think your initial question is because you brought up the topic of what you wanted to talk about, and you posed a question. I'm thinking about doing. What are you a real comic collector? And I think I replied back. The real question is, are you a comic? For me, my reply to you was, are you a comic collector, a comic investor, or are you both? That was my question to you because that's what I see how the categories for comic collecting is in this culture that we're in the environment that we're in. But I mean, what is a comic collector? I mean, it's somebody who likes comics, whether it is stories, art, and just throws them inside the long box and let them sit and collect.
Yeah, I mean the word collector. I mean when you start collecting things like you can be collecting boxes, you can be collecting teacups, you can be. I guess when you say collector, do you have to have a certain amount of when it comes to multiples of certain things? Not in the same, but in a multiples of let's say you know what I collect. Let's say these right here. These happens to be a golf marker. So if I have more than two, does that make me a collector? I mean,
I
it,
I, I think the word collector or the phrase "I am a collector" implies that you collect more than one thing of that specific genre, right? So if I say I am a collector of comics, I collect more than one comic for whatever reason, whether it be or toys or, you know, money, whether it be coins or dollar signs or whatever it is. But yeah, as
Yeah, I
long
mean,
as
no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, you good go.
No, because I've been just kind of going through the YouTube, and there was one interesting guy. I mean, he has a he has a like oodles and oodles of like 10 plus subscribers, and I think he can call himself an influencer, or he could be someone that educates people on comic book. And just don't want to say a specific name, but he had a video out there and said, and it was the title was exactly like mine. So it's like, are you a real comic collector? And I saw that thinking, God, could this be like a clickbait just to have people click on his video and hear about? Because I think, as for me, in the past 6 years within the YouTube and within this comic book community, I think I have so many variation what a comic book collector is. I mean, there are some people that said, "Oh, you're not a real comic collector if you don't read your comics. You know, you're not a real comic collector if you don't like collect runs in a certain titles. You're not a real comic book collector if you don't know the history of a certain major characters. It could be a canon to Marvel." And I was just scratching my head throughout the 6 years that I've seen this. I was like, really? And that it does it come down to a point where,
I would have been like, first of all, motherfucker, I'm no historian. I don't know history. You know, I have some visual history aids to know my history or whatever it is. Let somebody tell me that I'm not a collector because I don't know the history of fucking Pencil Man or something.
exactly. I mean, and I think I was on one of the podcasts. I think it was sometime last year or could be earlier this year, and he was on a live show, and and they were talking about, hey, and he just bluntly said out saying, yeah, you're not a collector if you don't read your comic book. And I said, and I was to me, it's like, wow, this community has just kind of been warped to a point where they are branded by the way you collect is not a good way, but if you collect in a certain way, you are a good collector, or you're a real book, a real comic book collector. So, and it's just to a point where, what is a real book? I mean, how can you define that word if you are a real comic book collector? I mean, I consider myself comic book collector because I used to read comic book. I have more than two comics, as you can see behind me, and I do know some history of the canons, characters within the MCU and DC. I mean, I'm sure for you, DC, when it comes to Batman, you know, you, you know pretty much the history and what he went through like Bronze Age, and modern, and some of these key runs.
That's a historian. That's not a collector. That's a historian. Somebody that's able that knows the history is a historian. Doesn't mean that that person or that collector that claims that, or the person that claims that you have to know the history of that character to be a collector. Therefore, equals you have to have those books to read to know the history of. Nah, that's BS.
But does it help? But does it help to be a good collector or real collector?
To know the history?
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to talk intelligently, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, do I have, in order for me to know the history of Batman, do I have to have Detective Comics 27 all the way to 1000? And then do I need to have Batman #1 all the way to Batman number wherever we're at right now?
I don't know. Maybe some people do.
I mean,
And that's the whole topic is like, how, I mean, it's how do you define it? I mean, because like I remember you saying you're saying like, oh yeah, real book collector, but do you mean by monetary value as in comic book collector, or there's so many topics. How can you cover all that and round up and get your answer saying he's a collector, but he's not a real book collector. He's a collector, but he's a more of a flipping. I don't know. So
I mean, first of all, you got to be pretty egotistical and narcissistic to label another person's collection as either good or bad, because number one, you don't know what kind of value, whether it holds monetary or sentimental value, that collection holds to that person. So for me to say your collection sucks means that whatever you like sucks, and I am better than you because I believe that. So
okay. So with that said, do you think that certain individual or certain people or group, when they say or they make a video saying, you know what, let me teach you how to collect comics. So they will say like collecting comics 101. So are they mocking the people that is collecting new or not, saying that hey, this is not
well, I mean,
to that
it,
I don't want to come out saying that certain people
I
that
mean,
have
you learned it by making mistakes. I learned it by making mistakes. What kind of collector I want to be? What kind of collector you want to be? You, I started off one way. I ended up going a whole different way because that one way was really not the way that I wanted to collect. So I switched it up to a different way. But those are mistakes that you have to learn on your own. Just because Joe Blow on YouTube, who has 15,000 subscribers, says, hey, new guy, here, this is the way you should collect because this is the lessons I've learned from collecting that way. Well, if that person starts going off and doing what that YouTuber says, he's going to learn whether that's the type of style he wants to collect or he wants to collect his a whole different way. And I will speak on what I see. A lot of the times, what I see on YouTube, and it's probably what because I'm a glutton for punishment. So I watch a lot of shit that makes me mad instead of making me happy. So a lot of the YouTubes that comes up on my screen is about monetary value, right? And which goes back to what I originally said with when you brought up the subject is the question is for me, do you collect comics? Are you comic investing? Or are you on both? So if I'm just
it
collecting
doesn't
comics,
make go ahead, I'm sorry.
if I'm collecting to invest in comics, then I'm taking a different approach than I would if I'm collecting a run per se, or I'm collecting artists. So that to me would be like the better question to ask yourself is what kind of collector am I? Am I a short term holder and then sell? Am I a long term holder? Am I buying it now and selling it, at more expensive later on? Or do I satisfy myself with having 56 long boxes inside my room and saying, yeah, I did that. I completed this run, I completed this run, and I completed this run. Yeah, they might not hold monetary value, but they hold sentimental value because I achieved the goal that I gave myself. So that's always been my thing.
No, the I mean, you get you. I mean, your examples. I mean, it validates because it's just the way you learned it. But I guess everybody has to go through what you say is their learning procedures or learning curve to make a mistake and change the way you want. And finally, once you I guess there is no, I guess there's no solid way of collecting, because I have changed my collecting ways at least about 4 times now within the past 6 years that I have been really into this comic, collecting. First was reading, then I tried to run, then next thing you know, I went into variants, then I went into key comics, and now it's pretty much everything is all bundled up in one, and to a
Mhm.
point where I'm satisfied where I'm at right now. But when I start seeing this thing where people with these numbers of subscribers that have views and thing telling other people, or trying to tell other people that, or asking question, are you a real book collector, or saying, you know what, comic book collecting 101, tutorial video of what you should know or what you should not do. But it's just to a point where are they going with this? I think I tried it once, and I as I watched my own video, I think, God, I sound like fucking, going back to what you said, a very artistic is for me to go out there telling other people this is the way it you should do things. Eh,
Well, there's nothing wrong with giving advice as long as you just keep it as that, giving advice, right? If I, if you were to, David, if you came to me and said, I want to collect comics, but I don't know where to start, my first question to you is, why do you want to collect comics and what are you trying to get out of it? That's the only two questions that really matters to me, because that way I could probably lead you in a better direction with those two information than I would with any other information. Because most people, well, no, because the shit that I watch, most people, I, I see on YouTube, it's all about making the money, right? And whether it be the quick flips, going out to your watching these top 10 whatevers, going to your LCS, finding those top 10s for super cheap, and then putting them on eBay for super expensive, right? To make the quick flips.
yeah, thanks, dude. Yeah, but yeah, if you're ever in Washington, you want to have good eatery and some dispensary, let me know. I can hook you guys up. Uh, but I don't know. That was just an interesting subject that people put out videos and saying that, I guess they're trying to what
Well,
find. Gee,
what,
I'm lost for words. You know,
so David, this video that you watched, I think I know what video you're talking about, but I didn't watch that video. But
I, mean, I didn't watch it either
oh, okay, so we
because
don't know.
I didn't want to get. Because one, I didn't want to get mad because
Mhm.
if I watch something that I think this is not educational, or to a point that I feel that he's trying to lure people into his way of, or trying to make money out of it, I get mad.
Mhm.
I get mad to a point where, oh, this guy is putting out a clickbait, asking people what's the true collector, because he has a lot of followers, and then once people going in, they say, oh yeah, you should be collecting this, and he'll start showing the books he has, and next thing you know, he's an eBay seller that has those books on sale. So I didn't want to go through that whole thing. That's why I stopped watching that video. But I just thought that title that he had put out, like the one that I put out, is "Are you a real comic collector?" And I just thought that was a very interesting subject. That how he alone can dissect the word comic, to label people, or a person or group, as a real comic collector, because I don't think there is no definite definition of being a real comic collector, because everybody, like you said, has their own way of collecting. You know.
Yeah, kind of like what Christy Quinn Variant said. There's a difference between suggestions and leading for benefit. If I go to a video because I see somebody saying collecting comics 101 or how to become a better comic collector, right? I would think I would take what I need from it and drop the stuff that I don't need from it. But then again, it's all a learning curve that you yourself have to learn by making your own mistakes. David, if you came out and said this is how you collect, well, that's David's collecting style. That might not be Tito's collecting style. So if I start following you and I got to change it up, well, that's just how it is. And hopefully I didn't spend too much money listening to you on the way there. Because there have been people that lost buku amount of money, especially in 2020. I was watching a Pokemon video that came out today that said, hopefully you did invest in 2020, because they showed like what cards were going for in 2020 that people bought in versus what those same cards are worth now. And, you see 89.5% drop offs, 92 point something drop offs, 94.5 drop offs. So it's all about not really listening to the right people, by having an understanding of what it is that you want to collect. And if you don't know what you want to collect, then definitely don't buy something that's super expensive, because then that'll probably bite you in the butt. But then again, that deals with monetary value. Like for me, I will buy a Spawn comic book that is super expensive and probably overpay it, but that is something that I collect that I don't really see a return on investment type deal. It's a book that I really want. But if I was to buy that same book and I'm not a Spawn collector and I'm trying to get an ROI out of it, then I kind of fucked myself, because now I got to wait a few more years because of it. So
Okay, so let me ask you a question, Tito. All right.
Mhm.
So, what is your definition of being a real comic collector? And I'll give you my definition of what's being a real true comic collector. Just put it in a nutshell. I mean, it can be long, it can be short.
A comic collector is somebody that collects in their own style. That's
What
it.
is that?
Someone who collects in their own style.
So, what is that?
Anything. Who am I to say you collect runs, you're a true comic collector? You only buy Silver Age, you're a true comic collector. You buy variants, you don't. No, it's whatever that makes them happy is what it is.
But as you know, going through the collections, whatever you buy, then it might make you happy. But year down the line, you might not be happy with what you have bought.
Right. And so then you just get rid of it or get something else.
So, Christy, you're saying that it's a personal choice. Yes, it is a personal choice, because nobody's really putting a gun in your head and saying that you need to get this book. But going back to the question, are you a real comic collector? Tito, are you a real comic book collector?
I have comic books that I collect that brings
Don't
me.
be freaking political with your answer. God damn it.
I don't know which one. Do I have long boxes of comic books sitting inside in 2 different rooms and in the closet? Yes. Does that make me a true comic book collector? I don't know. To me, yes, it does.
Okay, that's what I wanted to hear.
One comic.
I just wanted to hear your side of like what makes you feel that you are a real comic book collector. I really don't care what other people think. This whole topic was about for us to discuss what our personal feeling or personal thought or opinion about what a real comic book collector is. For you, you just said to make them happy, and I asked you a personal question: do you consider yourself a real comic book collector?
Mhm.
And you fucking giving me this political freaking runaround fucking answer.
There's no true answer. I mean, my answer is: Am I a true collector? My answer
Are
is
you?
yes.
What makes you feel? What do you think that you are a true comic book collector?
Why do I think so? Because I have more than one comic sitting inside a box.
Thank you. No, I'm just doing this so that there's not many people watch this live. There's about 15 people, and all of the people in the live chat it could be a friend of ours that we have seen from from before, or It's just a continuing support that we have done for so many years, build the trust. And like for All About Comic, JP, I knew him ever since I started this YouTube channel. And Christy of Queen, I met her a couple of times in Hawaii. We went to the same LCS. Hazel Dan, those couples are really but just for people who decided to click on this video on a rerun, I just wanted to have your voice saying, hey, being a real comic book collector, if you have more than one, if you have more than two comics in your collection, and that makes you happy, then you're a real you're a real collector. As for me, what do I think I'm a comic collector? Yes, I do. Why? Because I went through the beginning of being a sheep and getting out of that herd and doing my own individual and buying things that make me happy. And
Why?
variants are why?
Yeah.
Why what?
Why?
Why?
Why did you leave? It was it that what you were collecting. It wasn't what you wanted to collect.
Uh, at first, at first, I was the sheep because I did not know what the market. I didn't know anything. All I know is that there was a DC rebirth that is happening,
Mm-hmm.
and I thinking, okay, I can. And so I remember watching someone's video saying there's the DC rebirth is happening in May of 2000. I forgot what year was that, and this is a perfect time for you to jump in if you want to start some. And I went in. Of course, I bought every freaking titles on the rebirth, every issue. Then months after months, spending so much money on it, I decided to cut down on the titles. I kept with Batman, Detective Comic, Action Comics. Then I went into indies because I heard that indies, if you want a good read, indies is the way to go. So I went into indies. I bought, whatever number ones was coming out for that week. And I think within 6 months to 8 months within the collecting, I realized, this is not it because you know, I enjoy the reading, but most of the time the reading that I've done, it becomes crap. I mean, the story just sucks.
Mm-hmm.
After going into 6 or 7 issues, like what the hell? I'm not getting into it. So I went to this whole new way of collecting, and I met with a lot of the YouTube people, which is Doom 143, 3562. Then I met you, then I started to have this whole vision of, oh, there is some other perspective of collecting things. It's not just about reading and collecting run. It's it's about the cover itself, like, and the artist, and I started to, and that resonated to me. And then they said, you know what, I'm all into variants because variants has a different cover, different attached to it, and there's some type of attraction to it. And from then on, it just went on and on and on. And
So, out of curiosity, when Rebirth came about, let's dig deeper. So, when Rebirth came about, what attracted you about coming back into the comic hobby? Why at that particular time did you think I'm going to buy all the titles that you did?
uh at one point, because it was new, it was a whole new retake on the DC universe, and a DC continuity, right? And I just thought that, you know what, I know comic book collecting has collecting has been good to me in the past, and I used to collect sports cards and stuff, and it was very good to me. It's like whenever I need some type of and going back again, it became to a point where it's if I'm going to invest so many hundreds of dollars each week, what am I getting out of it? And that's the thing that I started to think, because I had 3 short boxes, and I realized it didn't worth the money that I was putting into. and I did not, and I started feeling that when the story didn't, it stopped resonating with me.
So would you say that you were going into the investment portion first,
I
primarily
think in
reading?
in my mentality, anything that I put my money in collecting gotta it gotta have some type of return, a monetary return. So anything that I collect, I can be collect like you just said. I collect baseball card because yes, I enjoy the athlete, but at the same time, I did it for maybe in the long investment run as well. So yes, when I started reading Rebirth, I thought I could enjoy the read, um, have a good story. At the same time, if I hold on to this for another decade or so, this might actually become something. But I did not see that within the year period. At the same time, I can be very impatient at time too. So that's why I remember on this chat they said, is that considered as an investment part of it because of the monetary you doing it for collecting? Well, and that's when I said, it was just to a point where that's a whole different that could be a whole different topic because somebody just do it for the sake of monetary value, and but I did it at the same time as it, I did invest my money and time into it, but the investment with the turnaround or the thing that I got, it wasn't there for me on the first year that I collected with when I started collecting 6 years ago.
Well, and that's why I like to I tend to think that when somebody says I am a collector, in my opinion or in my head, like I'm more I'm like, okay, you're a collector, cool. Like, what do you collect or what's your style, right? Because it goes
Yeah,
back to what I initially said is, do you just collect comics to collect comics? Are you investing in comics or are you both? Because if you're investing in comics, then you're looking at ROI, not necessarily the value of the story per se. Well, you're looking at the value because obviously the value has something to do with the ROI, but you're not per se, collecting that particular book because it is a, Matina book or Delato book or Buscema book or a Kirby cover. So that's what I see a lot of with the YouTubes. It deals with return of investment. It deals with money making. Why? Because I guess that's the cool thing to do now. Is buy books to sell it to those that are not sure what they're buying, are lost in the wind, and they think they get a good deal. And then 6 months down the road, they find out that the $50 book that they bought at some whatnot YouTube, Instagram auction is now a $3 book. So it's just you got to be careful when you're doing all that kind of stuff.
yeah, no. I mean, I totally hear you, but going back is I did not collect comic book in order to sell it. You know, it was just a point where if I needed that fun and if I could sell it, it would have some type of return back. So going back is like Ultimate Fallout 4.
Hmm.
I was totally into Miles. It somehow that character, I love Spider-Man. Peter Parker was always somebody that I thought it was very cool that I can relate to. Then I found out there's a new Spider-Man, and went and checked his character out. And said, hey, you know what? This is not bad. I think since I don't have Peter Parker first appearance, I think I'll start collecting this Spider-Man instead. Did I do it for the sake of being monetary? I never thought that it would be 1,000 or 100, a $1,200 to $3,000 book. I always thought that book was going to be be $30 to $40 book, you know, and so as and due to that, it's not like I got it to. sell it. I just did it because I love the character. It just happens that he became one of the big, So I sold some of it because I needed that. Because, like I said, I didn't do it to make money out of it. I do it because I love to collect and that certain character. But it just happens that when I needed that certain fund, these books were the one to sell, and it gave me back. It did me right. So it's kind of hard for me to say I'm a seller or I'm a collector. I think I'm a collector at heart, but I do need to sell books to want to keep this hobby going because it can be very costly. At the same time, the big books that I have that I had gotten, I can sell it if I ever do need that financial problem. So going back to my question, back to me is, am I a real book collector? Yeah, I think I am a real comic collector.
Yeah, I'll be. First of all, I'll be hard pressed to find anybody that is in the comic realm to say they're not a comic book collector. Unless to say they're a comic investor, which then what's the difference, right? You still have books inside your short box, long box, and safes. I mean, you still collect them, but the reasoning why you have them is totally different. So I guess then it becomes, what's the reason?
I don't know. See, that's the whole thing. As if you're an investor, isn't an investor to a point where you hold on to it for a while, then you sell it because you have invested it and you reached that certain peak that you thought, okay, this I can sell at this time, and you end up selling it.
Well, I guess the better question is, what are you a comic investor? Would be the better question is, do you buy books for the sake of selling them? Because a flipper is nothing more than a short-term investor. You buy it low, you sell it high.
Yeah, but that's not me though.
Well, I understand that. I understand that.
But if I'm an investor, I'm the worst investor because I could have sold all my books at peak and buy it back, and I will still have enough money in my pocket. But no, I tend to keep it.
Well, I think All About Comics said something damn near similar. He was like, what did you say, JB? Something about
What?
the All About Comics
Is
said
this
something.
it? I collect characters,
No,
cover, etc. I don't.
no. What did he say? Real collectors lose money because we hold on to things too long. That's me. Like if I was a seller, I'd be so mad at myself because I'm like, damn, I missed all these opportunities to sell all these books. But then again, I don't like. I think you know what though. Honestly, if I was to take a good hard look at my collection and thought about, was there a time, a book, a set of books that I thought about investing in? And I have one, and it is X-Men 101, and it was. I'll tell you how much I paid for it. It was 2020, and I was like, what books haven't hit yet? And I noticed that X-Men books still haven't hit as hard as it should have hit. And then I went to, okay, what's a good X-Men book and where? All right. So then I was like, okay, Claremont, that's pretty a good place to start. What books are in the Claremont run? And 94 was just hitting. GSX hit. That's why X-Men 94 was starting to hit. I was like, what's next? 101. That was the next one. And I bought X-Men 101 at a 9.2 or a 9.4 for $400. And that was the only time that actually I invested in a book. And of course, me holding it for as long as I did, I missed my boat to actually sell it super high. I could still sell it higher than what I bought it for. But the investor versus collector clashed and the collector won. So
Yeah, because you're not an investor to begin with.
Well, the reason why I got that book was to invest. The reason why
Yeah,
I
but
have
you,
that book is because I'm a collector.
yeah, I understand. But I'm just gonna put it very simple.
Like
For a
so,
guy that who doesn't, for a guy that who doesn't invest, decided to invest, and somehow they clashed. It's same for me. I'm not an investor. I'm a collector first at heart. And if I was an investor, all that UF14 and stuff in 2019, 2020, I would have sold that for like 15, 16,000. The book
yeah,
that I have in the 9.6. Well,
right.
no, but I kept it because I'm not, it I really suck in investing,
So let
you
me ask
know?
you: did you invest in Ultimate Fallout 4? Do you invest in Miles Morales?
I have not invested. I can clearly say that, uh, yeah, I invested some of my money into it, but
Hmm.
I didn't thought that it would. I didn't invest the money thinking that that character is going to be such a huge canon. It hit that all time high back in 2020. I never thought about that,
Yeah.
but when it did, I felt good because that's the character that I believed in like 6, 7 years ago, and when everybody thought it was talking shit, it's like no, that character will never make it, but and he did. And that one, I believe there was a Fiona Staple variant. I think I gave one to Drescher too. You know, and that, whoever thought that that was gonna be a freaking 5, 6, 7 thousand dollar book in a 9.8?
Hmm.
I gave those out as an AOK.
Hmm.
You know, so am I? Did I invest? Yeah, I invested some of the money at that time, but not to invest to a point where I thought that this was gonna be a 5 figure book or 4 figure book. I always thought that that book, Ultimate Fallout, and the first print, I always thought that that was going to be like a 25, $50 at most.
Hmm.
And but
Would I
look at
mean?
it now.
Would you? I mean, would you even say that would be investment though, or you were collecting that character? Because to me,
I was
if the term
that,
investment, I think monetary returns, right? I am investing my money in the Monster Energy a stock. I'm putting 20,000 inside the stock. I'm investing in it because I'm expecting some type of return. Like to me, it sounded like you were collecting that character, and you thought it was a
I
good enough
was
character that you were giving it out to
no,
people because you wanted
I
them
believed
to.
in that character. I wanted them to read and I want them to understand what this character is all about. And some of the covers that came out, I thought was really cool, and I gave it away as part of an AOK, saying, "Hey, look at this cool thing. It's Miles. It's not easy to find. Here, here, my friend. Have some copy." Who knew that's gonna blow up? I- Who knew? You know. But
Well,
go
I
back.
mean, you have your miles, and while my character isn't, nowhere to your level, but Spawn came out of nowhere and started.
Wait. Time out. I thought your character was Batman.
I have a couple of Batman, Spawn. Um, for I guess I'm a closet like Conan. I'm a closet Swamp Thing. But my main characters are Spawn, Batman, and probably somebody else. I gauge it on how many books I have in the boxes.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead. All right. So you're talking about Spawn.
Right.
Right, yeah. But
Yeah.
Spawn has been speculated back in the 90s when it first came out.
It, well, with the whole image boom it has, and then it died down when they realized the whole thing just collapsed in itself. But then, I don't know what year it was, probably about 2018 and 2019, where the Spawn movie wasn't really announced. It was rumored, but then the whole low print run thing came about, And then that like sparked all kinds of interest, along with like the Spawn 185 Potasio variant, the sketch cover variant, Spawn 222, Spawn 227. That spawned a whole like comic boom where I'm like, me being a Spawn collector, I'm like, yo, y'all just chill out. Like, y'all chill out because I ain't trying to spend too much money on this shit, right? Like, let's go back a couple of years to that value. But for some reason, out of nowhere, everybody wanted to start collecting Spawn, and like value wise, right? Something I really don't like to look at, but value wise, my Spawn collection is like 30 times more valuable than it was like 5 years ago. And it's still the same books, it's still the same whatever. It's just something happened where that, the low print mob came out and started spitting all that stuff out, and everybody wanted to come out. McFarlane came out with, the Spawn movie that would probably never be made. Then the dude, Hawkeye, I forgot his name, he was supposed to be in that Sam and Twitch movie. Jamie Foxx was announced. It's just like, if you didn't buy it low, I feel bad for you. Like, bad for you. Because some of these like characters is like, I don't really see it happening too well for you.
Yeah, I mean, I love Spawn, but after reading Spawn, as to me the character is like, okay, he's forever be living in his past because his wife married his best friend, and his best friend is the one that actually killed him. So, I just thought that. I don't know. But it's a cool cover. I mean, it's a great art. Todd McFarlane has killed it with that character, along with when Greg Capullo came in, and I just thought that there's really, really good art. And I only read
from the superhero genre to the horror genre to the mystery genre to the superhero genre all over again. It's almost like they're soft rebooting every couple of issues of something that's happening. Like what we thought was happening is now changed because issue 324 is now saying this is what really happened compared to that. It's just all like soft reboots instead of doing, volume 1, 2, and 3. They just soft reboot it with the same numbers.
Are you still reading? Are you still reading Spawn?
Yeah, I'm still reading. That is the only character I legit buy. Like New Comic Book Day, that's the only thing I buy.
Interesting.
So
you consider yourself a historian of Spawn?
That's such a strong word. I think I am knowledgeable of Spawn. I think I can.
Not a historian?
Yeah, no, I don't think I'm a historian because my memory sucks. I have really bad memory.
Okay.
Now, if I had good memory, I would be a historian. But my memory sucks. Like I couldn't tell you, what happened.
All right. So we got two people here. There's a real comic book collector.
You stupid.
Your labels. What? My label?
Anybody that has more than one book in their house because they like it and it brings them happiness is a comic book collector.
I guess, yeah. I agree. By mistake, purposely or not on purposely, or just whatever it is, you have more than one comic book in your in your house, then you're a comic book collector. But do you have to keep buying comic books to be a comic book collector? Can you just buy 5 and say, you know what, I collect a comic book, I have comic book?
No, because I mean, honestly, okay, so if I was to stop pulling Spawn, if I was to stop pulling Spawn, that would mean that I'm no longer a comic book collector. In the example that you just gave, you are saying I am no longer a comic book collector. That
No, I'm asking. Does that
fuck
make
no,
you?
it doesn't mean
No.
that. That just means that what if for whatever reason you don't want to buy any more books? It's kind
The
of like
only
me.
reason.
I'm 1 foot out this door.
Same here. The only two things that's going to have me stop buying comic book. I'm broke. Two, I get my AF-15,
Yeah,
and that'll be it.
I just like one of the reasons. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 LCSs here, and the one in town right down the street, I stopped going to it because they are. That's where I used to go and buy my books. Like they have fair prices. Sometimes I get stealths. Sometimes I get deals. Sometimes I buy them at FMV. But right when the comic book boom started, they start putting up the prices. And when I noticed that, I was like, first of all, none of these books are going to retain that same value. So fuck no. And then then I was like, okay, now you guys are being greedy and not cool. So I stopped going to them. The one probably about 30 minutes away from here was the same way. It was like, that's where I found a couple of the Star Wars books for like $1. Like he didn't care, but the boom happened and everything went up. I'm just like, it's still the same motherfucking people that's coming. You know, you don't have out of towners come through here. But why are you raising your prices? All you're doing is pricing out the people that's actually keeping your doors open. So I stopped going to them. Everything, all the reasons why I stopped going to these LCSs is because they got money hungry, and I'm not about that life. That's not my life right there.
Well, that's not your peep. I mean, you want fair. What is that? You just want your. If you were to run your own business, you want to be fair. You don't want to get greedy. And I know I get you, man. There's about how many LCS around here? There's 1, 2, 3,
Hey,
about
David,
4 yeah.
if you want to get triggered, why don't you take that link off and then have people message you on IG if they want to join? Because I don't know if you remember what happened a couple of years ago when somebody threw a link in there and what happened.
What happened? I have very short memory.
Yeah, something really bad happened on their live and they got taken off. And so I would say if you want to join, send,
Hey guys,
What's
give me a
up,
second.
Chrissy?
Give me a second. I'm gonna mute the mic and I'm gonna get my headphones.
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would
Well,
say,
okay. What happened? Who clicked in and we got kicked off? What happened?
well, I'm not going to relive that because that actually was pretty fucked up what happened. Let's
What?
just say that. Oh, see, All About Comics, remember it too. Let's just say the host, good guy, nothing wrong with him. He threw a link out there and some fucktard jumped on that link and did some real foul shit on his live, and he wiped it all off. Like that shit is not even cool. That's why I'm like, yo, take that shit off, and if anybody wants to come, send you a DM about it.
I'm really curious. What the hell happened? Did it happen on my channel?
No, it didn't happen on your channel. I actually forgot the dude's name.
Huh. Okay, okay, JP. Look, I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of excited now to see who's going to jump in and kind of wipe my whole slate out.
You will not be excited. I
Why?
promise.
Why
Just
is my YouTube channel going to be like cleared?
Just take that shit
Is
off.
that what it is?
Well,
I can't find it. Where is it?
give me admin so I can take the shit off.
I hear it. Okay. Okay, wait, hold on. What the hell? I can't put myself in a freaking timeout.
Why would you put yourself on a timeout? Just delete.
How do you delete? How do you delete this? Okay, I click on that thing, and the only option that I get is put user in timeout or block user. I'm like, I'm not gonna block myself. It's like put a user in timeout. What, you gonna put me in? I gotta put myself in timeout.
Give me a blue wrench. I'll take care of it.
What blue
No.
wrench? I got no wrench to give. How do you become a blue wrench? Oh, you want to be wait, how do you do that? You know what? Never mind, Tito. If it happens, it happens, man.
You laugh.
But I tell you, there's no. Trust me. Out of all this time that I've been doing live chats, there's only people that comes is the supporters of my channel. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it.
What's going on, David?
What's up? Okay, Christian, just to let you know, this is not we're not doing any auctions today, okay? And you're not gonna be doing any selling books tonight. So hey, Tito, so you know Chrissy, right? Chrissy's from Hawaii.
Yeah, I'm aware. I've seen her on Instagram.
Okay. Right. She's a real cool sister. Like,
Hold on, guys. Sorry.
okay. So, Alex, let me ask you something.
What's up?
Are you a comic book collector? Are you a real comic book collector?
I've slowed way down because everything's kind of.
What do you mean?
There are books that I want that I naturally would like to have in my collection, like the first appearance of
But
the
that's not my
X-Men.
question. That's not a good answer. Are you a real comic book collector? It's a simple yes and no, and just put a reason to it why your answer.
How do you define that, though? Someone who goes out regularly each day and buys comics, or
What is your definition of being a comic collector? And if you are in that category, do you consider yourself a comic book collector?
I collect.
Think about that question, okay? Think about that question. Think about it, and there is no real wrong or right answer. It's just I just want to know your opinion or your thought of what a real comic collector is, and do you consider yourself that a real comic book collector? So, Chrissy, you got your headset on?
Oh,
No, why?
almost.
What's going on?
No, what's going on? My Bluetooth is dead. But can you guys hear me good enough?
Yeah, we can hear you, but it's echoing.
Yeah, see, that's the problem. Give me a minute. Maybe I'll be right back then.
Okay.
You gotta mute the YouTube.
Ah, is that it?
Yeah,
One
you
second.
gotta.
Yeah, you gotta. Yeah.
All right. So, back to you.
I'm a continual collector. I don't collect every single day like some people. They have their pull list and they go to the shop every day, picking up different runs. I don't do that.
Just because of that doesn't make that person not a real comic book collector?
All right, here's something I've encountered. People will come to me who I'll see at a comic book shop, or maybe I'll just see them at like a convention of some type related to comic books. And they'll say, "Oh, are you a collector?" And
And what was
I'll
the
answer,
answer?
So I'll answer them. I'll say, yeah, I collect. He's like, what are you reading now? I'm like, I'm not reading anything now. Oh, what have you purchased lately, like within the last couple days? I haven't purchased anything for a month. Then they're like, oh, are you really a collector though? Then they kind of like, they don't see.
Really? They bombarded you with that, and they already tagged you as a non-comic book collector? God,
it's,
I would have been insulted.
it's happened that way.
But
No,
did you
but
say
some,
anything back to him though? To
no, I just said
define
I'm not serious. I'm not a serious collector. But then I don't even know how you
what
would
is a
define
serious
serious.
collector? Yeah,
Yeah, I
exactly.
don't even know how you would define serious.
So
Because serious could mean you collect multiple titles daily from the comic book shop. You go every day. Or it could mean that you spend, it could be the amount of money you spend on a single issue.
Okay, so what you just said means that Tito, Kingdom Comics, is a serious collector because he's till this day he reads and buys Spawn book each every time that it comes out till this day.
Yeah, I would say that's a serious collector.
See, that's the thing. It's like to me, I think comic book collector is it's not about buying book every week or getting runs and so and so. I think going back again is if you have more than I said about 3 to 4 comic book in you within you in your house or in your hands or your possession, you consider yourself a comic collector. You know, you
But
can't.
isn't that just,
Tito,
isn't that,
did you what?
isn't that
Isn't
after
that
you've
what?
already, what if you've already completed your collection? You cease to be a collector at that point?
Well,
Tito,
that's
you want to answer that question?
you know, collecting would mean that you are actively getting something, right? I am collecting something, so you are actively going out and purchasing something. So, am I a collector? Yes, because I have a whole bunch of fuck shit sitting inside of my room over there. So, actively collecting. Am I collecting something right now? Am I?
All right,
Yeah.
I'll give you an example of something here. So this is kind of like an extreme example, but it still is pertinent to what we're discussing. So I know someone who's I would say is a serious in the monetary sense, like the dollar amount spent, not serious as in the frequency with which he purchases. I know someone who purchases rare books. I'm
Yeah,
talking about like first edition, like Alice in Wonderland and stuff like that. So some of those books are like
yeah.
20, $30,000. But the thing is, he doesn't go out all the time. Maybe he'll wait 8 months, 2 years until finally one of those rare copies comes up for auction.
Mm-hmm.
So they have like antiques. He has like an antiques scout. He hires someone to go look for this stuff for him, and then they find something after like 8 or 9 months.
Yeah,
But
I mean, he's still actively collecting. It's
yeah,
just, he's collecting big boy fucking books compared
yeah.
to $80 books. Am I actively
So
collecting out of Spawn? No. Well, yes, but I'm a window of opportunist, right? If I see a good deal, I'll buy it, but I don't actually go out looking for it unless it's the X-Men number X-23 number 15 variant. Then yes, I'm actively looking for that book.
so
I guess
so
I
Adam,
guess I'm
so
a
you think
collector
that
then.
he considers himself a
What'd you say?
Are you a real book comic? Are you a real comic book collector? That's the question. Do you consider yourself a real comic book collector?
As opposed to a fake one?
What is there such thing as fake one? And that is some another discussion we can talk about.
A fake one is maybe someone that purchases 3 or 4 books and then, just uses those as eye candy to like, socialize with people. They're not actually into the hobby.
You bring up here goes. Is a fake comic book collector an investor?
No, because I think we all invest some. The word invest, because this, I'm telling you, this literature is that's why I did not pass literature, because there is no there is no right definition. Okay, when you say investor, that means what? When you invest or investor, that means you putting your time or money into a subject that is can be tangible, isn't it? Isn't it? Is am I getting things right?
There's nothing
Right?
emotionally, there's no emotional involvement with what you're doing. It's strictly for the monetary gain. I would say that that's what an investor is.
So is that a fake collector?
Is that a fake collector? Yeah, is that a fake collector?
Only if they present themselves as a true collector. Like, I really love this stuff, and, I've always been a fan of Spider-Man, but they really aren't.
Mhm.
They're just saying that to maybe, like, network or something like that. I don't know.
But how would you know if they're faking it or not?
Fucking find out. We just asked about the investor. I don't know about the personal and shit like that.
Well, how? Well,
Say this.
man, I would hate to be with Tito when we go out and say, "Are you a Spawn collector?" Yes, I am. How the he's gonna say, how are you gonna ask him? How are you gonna ask him if he's a fake Spawn or true Spawn collector?
I mean, using that same example, if I ask David or person X, "Hey, are you a Spawn collector?" and they say yes, I'm like, "Oh, cool." I was like, "What?" I would literally say, "What do you collect?" Within
Okay, so right,
that umbrella.
let me stop you right there.
Umbrella.
Let me stop you right there. So you're gonna ask me if I'm a Spawn collector, but I do have I do have dozens of Spawn.
Okay.
So does that make me a Spawn collector?
I mean, you tell me. I don't know. My next follow up question will literally be, "Oh yeah, what do you collect?" And then if you were to tell me, "Oh, I collect like everything. I'm a run collector," I'm like, "Oh, cool." Or I only collect the high price variants. Oh, okay, cool. Or I've just, I only collect the Capullo run. Oh, okay, cool. Because, a Spawn collector, Batman collector, Marvel collector, Silver Age collector, they focus in on a particular area. Like somebody's not going to buy literally, well, no, I'm bullshit. Because I know the Great Legends in here. I was going to say Legends here. You just threw that fucking argument out the door. But, it's hard to find somebody that collects a particular character from first appearance all the way through to now. I probably know, like Rich Dressier. He probably has every X-23 cover or some shit dealing with X-23 in his collection because he's an X-23 guy. Martian, he probably has damn near all the high price variants because he's one of those collectors. He collects those high price all the time. So it's just the umbrella of the collecting style that you. Well, see, like Legend said, me and my FF collection got them all of them. It's rare to see somebody, at least in the tubes. I'm sure there's people all out in the world, but to say that they have every single issue from the first issue to now, it'll be hard pressed for me to believe somebody that does that. Only because I've been so. Probably brainwashed would be the word I'm looking for. I've probably been brainwashed to believe that nobody collects like that anymore. I think
there's a lot of people there who still completists when it comes to runs or that.
Yeah,
But like you said,
that's no
yeah.
longer it's no longer the focal point. That's no longer what's stressed now. What's stressed now is, the value, the monetary. How do I get from here to here, or how am I able to make money from this book to the next book? That's what brings in views. That's what brings in clicks. That's what brings in those subs. The times of David, you going out, or Doom, or Master X, or Triple C, or myself, Rick, the time of those hunting videos where, we're able to find, this book for this price when it's going on for this book, And funny enough, like, I still have all those books, and they'll no longer go for those prices. They probably go for the same price that I bought them initially. So, but I got them, they're mine, and they stay with me.
Yeah, no, I mean, I guess you have any thoughts into this, Alex?
On what? What specifically?
I don't. If you want specific, you came to the wrong channel. Everything's vague. You just want to know your opinion, your thoughts about it, because we honestly, we're not here to judge anybody, because everybody has their own way of doing things, of their own belief, their own sanctuaries, and whatever it takes to get the day go by as
I just have
carefree as possible.
my collecting has changed. I've already collected every issue of the first 4 or 5 volumes of The Punisher. That was my main goal when I first started collecting. So I have Punisher volume 1 through 5 complete, every issue. So anything after that is really, I guess it's just extra. Like, I have some New Mutants run. I think I have like issues 1 through 10. And then I have Omega Men issues 1 through 8, something like that. Some random issues, like some random runs. But mostly after that, after the Punisher stuff, it's all graded books, all slabs. And they're all characters that I wanted at some point. Like first appearance of Hawkgirl. That's actually over my shoulder right there. All-Star Comics number 5. First appearance of Hawkgirl. So actually, I used to watch the Justice League, the animated series. So that was a character I kind of want. I couldn't afford the other stuff, first Superman, first Batman, all that stuff's like way out of reach. Would I like to have that in my collection? Yeah, that would be nice, but I don't see that realistically happening.
There's always a reprint,
Reprints? Yeah,
facsimiles.
I wouldn't say I was an
That's
elitist.
where I'm going.
I wouldn't say I was an elite. I would say that I like having the real. I considered buying a page out of Detective 27. I considered buying a page.
What? You really buying a page?
I considered buying one.
No, I'm just joking. I think that's cool because it's part of history. So getting a page, is, to me, it's the dopest.
I actually, and then I wait for slabs, but right now I'm stopping because the market is too volatile, and it's not because I want to buy the book and flip it. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with, let's just say there's a book I'm looking for. First appearance of Sabretooth. Let's just use that for an example. So I want to get like a 9.2 of that book. But right now, the book's kind of inflated. Even though the stuff's going down, it's still kind of high. So if I bought it now and then it dropped down another $500, I'd be like, damn, I should have just waited and kind of, but it could go both ways. But just because there's so much volatility, I'm more careful about my purchases now because I still think that there's some funkiness going on. That's pretty much where I am right now.
So do you believe in money doesn't matter? I mean, to a point when it comes to buying something that you like?
It matters.
Oh, you're talking about why can't I think of the phrase? There's like a phrase spare no expense kind of thing. You're talking about that.
Yeah.
I tried that. And it was like this isn't me trying to flex or anything like that. I waited for a long time. I didn't buy anything for a long time with the purpose of bidding on a certain item on Heritage. And I didn't buy anything for like, I want to say like half a year. I was saving just for this moment.
Mhm.
And I was waiting for it to come up. And it finally did come up on Heritage, the first appearance of Dr. Fate. But that thing went way beyond what I could,
Mhm.
I had like 20K ready for that book, but it
Mhm.
went way beyond that. It went to like 90 grand. There's no way.
What?
Yeah.
I have a question. Did you
Yeah.
decide to get Dr. Fate after or before the movie got released?
I wanted to get it before, but it never came up. Not to my knowledge. I never saw it on eBay. I never saw it on Comic Link or anything like that.
Okay. I don't
But
know.
they had advertised the crap out of this thing for like a month, maybe 2 months.
Are you a
On
Dr.
there.
Fate fan?
What's that?
Are you a Dr. Fate fan?
Yeah, I think he's pretty cool.
I just
I
don't.
think it.
I don't
think-
hear too many people say I want to buy the first appearance of Dr. Fate.
I think that came from my like affinity for that character. Probably stems from my dad's interest because he always liked mystical characters. He liked Doctor Strange, Doctor Fate, anyone that was kind of like a little bit different than superpowers per se, like superhuman strength. People who were like deviated from that. So it was always kind of cool to the metaphysical characters like that could enter different dimensions and use magic against superpowered characters.
He would love America Chavez.
I don't know. He's how old is he now? He's in his 70s. He's kind of retired.
No,
Yeah. He had all the. I'll share a kind of sad story. He had all the original like old 60s books. He had AF-15 first, Spider-Man 1, X-Men 1 through I think like 25 or 30. And then someone stole all that stuff.
Oh, fuck me.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was bad. He explained it to me. He said, well, because back then, he said he was really trusting of. He took the books.
Elaborate that, please. Yeah.
He had sold some on his own to a comic book shop, and he didn't realize that they had gained like so much value. But he sold like medium keys. He didn't sell any big stuff, but he made some good money for back then. I think this was like the mid 70s when he started selling some of his books.
Mm-hmm.
And then a friend of his said, oh, if you want to sell the big stuff, I know a guy who deals in these types of things. If you want to give me some books and I'll take him over there. And then he never saw the books again or the guy.
Wow.
So it was bad. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, he
goes back
still
again,
talks about it.
During the 70s. But that's the 70s.
Yeah.
I mean, who would have known, is like he's come out as a friend, like you say, his friend, and
yeah. To this day, he still discusses it. He still discusses.
Dude, I bet you that hurt. Like that fucking. Not only did it hurt monetarily, but that I bet you there was sentimental value in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I would have. Yeah, I would have hunted that dude down. I figured Dad did. I'm sure Papa was like, "We're looking for this motherfucker. I don't know where he's at, but we're gonna find him."
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to, I guess, going back again about, the whole topic is, are you a real comic book collector? And it's each individual have our own way of collecting. Tito has his own way. Alex, you have your own way of collecting. I have my own way of collecting. but it shouldn't define us if we are considered as a real or fake. We're just a comic collector in general in this huge, not so huge, but in such a small community of this hobby that I don't think anybody should be telling anybody that they are not a comic book collector. If you have more than one, if you are interested in a certain character, you know, going back, let me just touch on this subject is like, you know that this Amazing Spider-Man 1, the M&M variant is right now is the talk of the town right now.
What is
Because-
that? I
I
heard,
don't know. I don't know either.
I saw Thorough post on it. I think you did a couple posts on it. What is
Yeah.
it? Like, what's the big deal
Well,
with that?
it's an exclusive, it's a store variant, or it's an exclusive variant that the Hustle company has came up with for Amazing Spider-Man issue number 1, which has Eminem and Spider-Man at the cover. Now there's a 5,000 print run, and when it came out, I guess it was $35, and everybody was jumping on it. It's a $150 book. Okay, and they came up with a second print, which they call what?
Well, like
How was?
I'm not understanding because I know that's not Eminem's first appearance on a cover on a comic book. I know
No,
that.
it's not. It's not.
So
It's not. So
what's the deal though? Like what?
okay, I don't know what I don't know what the deal is, but there is
They're making a
there's
movie.
millions and millions of
Together, right?
Eminem. No, Eminem. I think what it happens is that I think as us as a comic community knew about this book that has been coming out. Also,
I
at the
didn't know.
same time, Eminem has posted that that this company Hustle has a comic book with him on the cover. So he tweeted it out, and there is a millions and millions of people there who's follow also a huge Eminem fan that has a following. So this book has become to a point. It's not just a comic book; it just becomes a whole hip hop as a group as well that intertwine with this comic book. So, anyways, this book is selling for 35, sold for 35, and it's $150 to $180 book. Today, they released a second print, which they consider as a spotlight variant, which only Eminem and Spider color background is in more of a sketch black and white. Now, but that's I don't want well it's the whole but what I'm saying is as a collector, as a comic book collector, we collect book, but what if this hip hop people there who's a Eminem followers or has bought comic books are they
Oh my
consider
God.
themselves as a comic book collector now?
David, I just got what you were saying. That's bad, dude. I think there's something wrong with me. I thought you were talking about the M&M candies. I was like, what?
Yo, holy shit,
Okay.
you're so deep.
Okay. I don't
Yo, you fired.
no we
At least I do.
I do believe Eminem I believe Eminem chocolate has been in comic book before in the back covers. I don't think they ever made the front page, but front cover. But I know they made back covers. But yeah, I mean, go back again. Is like, are these new hip hop people so into Eminem? They're buying Eminem comic book. Are they consider themselves a comic book collector now? Are they?
What about Fluffy?
What the hell's
You know, the
Fluffy?
stand-up comedian, Gabriel Iglesias?
Uh-huh.
He's super into
What about
comic book stuff now.
Oh, shit, I think
He
he was on
actually
one of the fucking covers.
is he?
No, I don't think so.
Okay,
Well,
it's possible.
David, your original question is, are they comic book collectors?
Yeah, are they considered as a comic book collector now?
I think they're just following the money train.
Me personally, I don't think so. I just think they're collecting like the artists, like people who they like. If he comes out with more than like 2 covers, 3 covers, I still don't think so because that's yeah. Will they have a comic book in their house and they're holding on to? Yes.
Yeah.
But do I think they are a comic book collector because they have that one book? No. I think
I
they
think I think it has to, I think it has to do with like PR or their agent. Their agent's like, you needed to get involved with this because there's a lot of attention being given to this area. So it'd be a good career move for you to promote this or get involved.
Eminem is a big comic book guy. Like, dude, like literally has almost a lyric in all his raps with a comic book reference in it.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of collection he has, but I know he's a big comic book guy. I know he likes comic books. I
Yeah,
think
he
Doom,
talked about it in one of his interviews as well.
yeah, I think if Doom shows up, he'll be able to speak more intelligent about that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I just wanted to just throw that one out there. It's like because now there's a hip hop group that Eminem followers that's I'm sure they're gonna buy this comic book or they have
Yes,
have bought it.
So all right. Here's a question. What do you think about Keanu Reeves's comic books? Do you think he was originally into that stuff, or it's more recent that the Berserker stuff? Do you think that was just something that was trendy and he decided to hop on, or?
I don't know what has triggered him to invest in this in comic books, but I know for certain that there's a lot of talent, there's a lot of actors and actresses that is somewhat knowledgeable about comic books. And there is Nicolas Cage that is an avid Superman collector, and there's a story out there how he got ripped off or how his Action Comic #1 got stolen from him. And I know Eminem is a huge comic book collector himself as well. And I know even Ben Affleck himself is a huge comic book avid collector. And it shows that in is one of his past movie. I think it was called The Accountant. Like how he picked up that Action Comic #1 and just folded in half and put it in a freaking duffel bag. So as for Keanu Reeves, I really don't know, but I'm sure there's I don't know, there's a lot of people out there.
did Constantine.
Oh yeah, that's
Could be-
right.
yeah,
That's
that could
right.
be it.
I think interest grew when I don't know
Yeah.
what kind of interest,
What?
but
When was that? 2012? 2010? When?
I thought that was, oh fuck, I don't know. I'll look it up right now.
It was before all this comic book boom stuff, though.
Way before. 2005.
I mean, even
2000
Kareem
damn,
Abdul-Jabbar,
okay.
even Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the basketball player, he writes comic book for some indie, for independent publishing. Forgot what the title was, but I know Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is in it, and I forgot who else recently got into comic book. Isn't that Dragon Girl from Game of Thrones? That Dragon Queen, what's her name? Something
Oh.
Clark, Amelia Clark.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't she come up with some? Didn't she write some kind of comic book? I don't know Star Wars or something. That she wrote something. That she's involved also in the comic book as well.
Sounds
Mine-
plausible.
Who else is there?
What?
Who was that actor that played
Oh, man.
who
All about
played the
Prince. He got freaking issues.
No,
She
the-
wrote Mother Mayhem. Amelia Clark did.
okay, Mother Mayhem. Okay. And who's the other actor that played in in that new Batman movie with the guy from Twilight? The one that who played the villain.
Oh, you talking about the Riddler? Yeah, he
Riddler.
did a comic book. Yeah, I think it was a prelude or like.
Yeah,
the-
didn't he write a comic book about the character he played? Yeah.
Yeah, I think
So-
they just come.
So there you go. That are into comic book. He did Spawn.
Huh?
He wrote Spawn.
Who?
The guy that who played a Riddler in Batman the movie.
I don't think so. I think his first outing was that Riddler book.
Oh, okay. All right. And that's I got my answer. Just tonight. I just thought going back again. The whole reason for this topic was I just wanted to know you guys your guys. What's your definition? What your guys' definition is? What makes you a real comic book collector? And that was it. There was no right and wrong. And Alex, every time I ask you a question, it seems like I'm putting you on the spot.
Hey, all we had to say was yes and no,
What?
and the podcast was over.
Yeah, exactly. But I have to dig. I have to kind of, thanks to Tito, he's always a thinker, and he always kind of, instead of giving us a simple answer, he kind of digs into, he kind of dissected. And Alex, for you, and one thing about Tito is that he gives you a fucking political answer because he doesn't want to really tell the world out there what he really thinks. So take that as a grain of salt, guys, because whatever he says, it's not really telling you the truth. He's giving you a political answer. He answering your question with a question.
Well, because it's always hard, right? Like,
No, it's
Are you-
not hard.
are
You
you a real?
can just say it. And you know what?
Yes. Am I a real comic book collector? No. Well, if you say no, then okay, cool. That answers that for me. But then if you were to tell me yes, I'm a real comic book collector, my next question is like, okay, what do you collect? And then let's say, Glory's like, well, I'm not actively buying anything right now because I am waiting for a $30,000 to $40,000 book. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. But that doesn't change the fact that he's not a collector. David, if you're like, yeah, I'm a collector, but only collect hard to find books. Oh, okay, cool. It's always that umbrella, the stages for me that I'm more curious about. Because if you were to tell me, yeah, I'm a comic book collector, like, I'll be like, okay, that's it. That really doesn't do. I'm more like, okay, what is it that you collect? And that's why it's like, to me, like the more interesting question is are you a comic book investor? Like if you looked at yourself in the mirror and asked yourself, am I a comic book collector? Am I a comic book investor? Or am I both? If you could answer that, then I think you could find your way a little bit better in this collecting world or investing world. That's always been my thing. Is
Well, I think no, the thing is that I think Alex put a point there about investing. Is that investing you don't have an attachment to it.
well, the attachment is money.
Investor is something you don't have an attachment with. You can. I guess it's not an attachment of monetary. I think it's more of an attachment of your own personal. Like,
Okay,
hold,
like,
hold on.
There's no sentimental attachment.
like X-Men 101 to me, right? X-Men 101.
there's a sentimental.
Yeah, I don't like. Am I attached to that book because I like the character? No. I mean, I could care less. I don't have no. You know what the hell is that? Dark Phoenix? Is that? I don't even know what is 101. I don't forgot.
Yeah.
Dark Phoenix, right? Yeah, I don't have any like
Yeah,
drawings.
that's
I
Dark
don't
Phoenix.
have any other Dark Phoenix books. I don't have no statues. I don't have any toys. I have zero attachment to it other than that I figured I saw that book for cheap and what I thought was cheap and I bought it because I wanted to sell it. Like that to me is investing. There's
So
no.
there you go.
Yeah.
So going back to your, like you said, it's like, are you a comic book collector or are you a comic book investor? I think we kind of sort of the terminology of that being comic book investor is that you don't have a detachment or nor have sentimental value for those books that in that investor that he can let go and sell any given day.
I
Any
did
given
that.
day, his whole collection can go.
I did that with
Who did that?
Miles. I did that with the Miles. I had
Because
like 3 copies of Ultimate Fallout 4. I sold all the copies. I didn't care.
because you have no.
But the total like the total of you is not investing, right? The total of you is more of collecting.
I bought those for the express purpose of selling them for monetary gain.
Right.
And then I used that money to buy books that I actually wanted.
Right. So would you consider yourself an investor or a collector?
More of a collector than an investor.
Because I think everybody has a little bit of investor in them. Like
what I did with one of the copies when I sold it, I bought Action 252. It's the first Brainiac. I might be wrong on the number. Action Comics 250, the first Brainiac.
I thought 250 ain't 252 Supergirl?
Oh, what is it then? 242? It's something like that. It's like 2 something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got the first Brainiac with that.
Google
but
it,
I
guys.
didn't care.
Google people. Google it.
I'm doing it right now.
You didn't care about. I guess us as a 3-channel, we're more of a collector than investor.
Right? Yeah, you're right. Action Comics 252.
Okay.
Wait, no, you were talking about Brainiac. Well, fuck, what am I doing?
Brainiac, yeah, first appearance. It's 2 something. I forgot.
242.
242.
Yep. That's a character I want to get too. I got Brainiac's second and third appearance.
All right, so since you guys do this, I'm just gonna do some people on the live chat. Barbarian Kung Fu. We got the Great Legend, the OG. Barbarian, I don't know what happened to her. She never did. Along with Hyper Comics. What's up? I said we all say goodbye. I remember the last time that I did a live show, I said I was going to do a little giveaway. And we got so caught up with the topic and we kind of way off track. And after I went offline, I realized 5 minutes later that, you know what, I forgot to do the giveaway. So with that said, it's going to be very simple. So if you guys check the private chat, I'm just going to put out a number 1 through 50. All right. And anybody who has guessed that number, going to read this 2 comic book right here, which I'm going to show you again. Okay. Do you guys check the private chat?
I'm doing it right now. Okay.
Were you guys able to check the private chat, guys?
Yeah,
I can see it.
That's the number.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, get this comment
I can
back
get such a
on.
big hit with that number. Oh my God.
My
I could give
computer's
such,
lagging. That Jesus.
I could give such a big hit with that number.
How come okay, who's watching the chat? Okay, here it is. All right, no, but I haven't started yet, guys.
Spitting
Hold on.
numbers.
All right, so I'm gonna put a line. Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Once the line goes on, which I didn't put, but these are the two books that I'm giving away, which is I believe this is Thor number something. 1 out of 100. J. Scott Campbell, Virgin variant, and we got Mustraf. I'm not gonna even try it, but this
Masafero?
is a big time collectible exclusive. Edge of Spider Verse #1. Yeah, Mastafaro
I think it's Masafera. I
something.
think.
Anyway, this is his store exclusive. Edge of Spider Verse #1, Volume 2. First appearance of Spider Rex. Anyway, so that'll be it. So 1 through 50, guys. 1 through 50. If you guys get the number, I will say who and people. Tito and Alex. They already know what the number is. So here we go. So the giveaway has started. So put out the number there, guys. 1 through 50.
Oh, I can give a big old hint. Oh my God.
No, nobody's getting it now. It seems like there's only 3 people in this freaking thing. Okay, we got Barbarian Kung Fu, Great Legend, All About Comics, Hazel Dan.
If anybody knows me, that's your hint.
That's a big hint, guys. If you follow Kingdom Comics, 1 through 50. There's no 0, okay, guys? There's no 0. 1 through 50.
No issues.
Let me give you, if you guys want a hint, it's the number of this rookie that plays for Seattle Mariners.
We got a winner.
Legend hit it. Of course, he did every fucking number.
Ah, Great Legend. Yes, number 44. Yeah, we got Great Legend with number 44. I picked 44 because it happens to be the whatchamacallit, a jersey number for Julio Rodriguez. He's the center fielder for Seattle Mariners. And my
They
lights
shut your
just went
power
off.
off, David?
I don't know what happened. My powers went off, but I still have link. I still have
That's also
what the
how
hell
old I am.
happened?
These are hard
Oh,
times.
it just went back on. It just went back on. No. The thing is that this apartment complex, we have a two bedroom, but to somehow if you have the heater on the living room and have a heater in the other side, or somebody's put on a microwave, then the whole freaking thing trips because it cannot support certain voltage. So anyway, congratulations, Great Legend. What you do is hit
Nice.
me up on Instagram and give me your address, and I'll ship this out as soon as possible before Christmas, so you can get it in and show this great book on your live show on your next live show. All right, so Ada, thanks again, guys. It's been about close to 2 hours that we've been talking about how to be a comic
Hold on.
collectors.
Hold on. David, did you do any Black Friday comic shopping?
No, hell no. I slept.
Lord, did you?
Alex, did you freeze
Oh, you're
up?
asking me now? I couldn't hear you on there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you do any Black Friday comic shopping?
No, that because there's nothing. People lowered it like 5%, but they had it 200% over the price.
Yeah, I just bought toys. That's all I did.
Yeah, you're really getting into this action figures, man. It's like every Instagram post that I see you're at Walmart, Target, or some other place and just showing things off. And the next feed will be him at home, have that action figure, they're showing it, or if not, displaying it on his table. I'm like, God.
Yeah,
It's just in case if anybody wants to give Kingdom Comics an AOK, no,
no,
don't give him comic books anymore. Give him anything that is Ahsoka Tano, okay? Anything that relates with Ahsoka Tano, send him his way because he will treasure it forever.
I know that Sideshow was having some sales on different figures. I think like half off.
Yeah, well, shit, all of them: Sideshow, Hot Toys, Entertainment Earth, Kabukiya. Like, if you were a toy statue collector during Black Friday, that was fucking great. Because I spent a little bit on some figures because they were like 33, 47, 50% off. And I was like, fuck yeah, dude, let's do this. But not one comic book, like zero.
I have one thing to say about Hot Toys. I bought a Mandalorian Hot Toy action figure. I don't know, it is not is that considered action figure? But anyway, a statue, whatever it was, right? And I was so stoked because I'm so used to sideshow. You know, it's a bulk. You stack it up, and it has a great, presence. So I bought so Sideshow was selling this Mandalorian hot toys, and I bought it, and I was so excited. And the box that it came in is much smaller than I expected. I'm thinking, and I opened it, and I was just blown away with the details and the part that it came with.
Which
I got
Mandalorian did you
so overwhelmed that I haven't took a thing. I have 1 sec.
So, but here, this is it.
I can't see it.
TM?
Let's see. The writing, the writing right there, what's that writing say underneath it?
TM?
No. Because it tells you what Mandalorian you got. Above Hot Toys, the second long line. Oh, that is.
Oh, okay, nice.
You had the best with Grogu.
Yeah, with Grogu.
Yeah.
And
Do you have it out, or you still have it in the box?
as soon as I open the box, you know what? Hold on. This mic sucks. Soon as I open that box,
What? Anyway, okay. So as soon as I open the box, there's about 100 pieces. Small little details from Beskar, like his shields to the stand, and there's two different type of Grogu. They gotta clap it on that floating thing that like a bassinet that he's on, and I was so overwhelmed because I wanted to display it. As you can see, you see my Captain Marvel, that only has like 5 pieces: her head, the base, the body, and an arm. That was pretty much it. But
That's a Hot Toys too?
this motherfucker has a yeah, it's a hot toy. Hot toys.
No, I'm talking about the Captain Marvel. Is that Hot Toys or
I got so overwhelmed. No. That's a sideshow. But anyway, they're like, I'm not gonna put this together. Hell no. 100 pieces? I don't have that kind of patience. So just letting you know out there that if you're buying hot toys, just know what you're getting into, because don't be like my dumbass my buying this thing and never take it out of the box and ever display it because afraid to break it, because those pieces are like it's a small fucking pieces. I mean, the Mandalorian is about good, I can say about 3 inches tall, but the pieces that you got to put on him, it's like no, I can't deal with that. I'll just go nuts.
is it a model kit?
So let me show it to you guys. I actually let me show you what it actually looks like inside. Okay. So,
David, expand yourself.
oh, who?
Expand
Me?
yourself so we can see. Yeah, so we can see.
Okay, hold on. Let me solo myself out. Okay, so this is the box. Okay. And it comes with this sleeve that shows Mandalorian with Grogu. Okay. And so here it is. Okay. Can you guys see that without the glare?
Yeah, I mean barely. You do have
A little bit.
Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can get this right. Okay, how's about now? Okay. So
That's better.
there's two level. There's two level. Okay. Let me get the
Yeah, accessory and then the main figure.
can't even get this damn thing out. Okay. This is one layer. I and has all these pieces with his rockets and whatever flame. I don't know what the hell those are, but okay, but you see that, right?
Yeah.
And at the bottom of it, oh no, shit, there's 3 layers. This is the main, right? You got that trash can thing, you got Grogu here, right? And you got Grogu here, and you got the main part of Lorian, okay? Oh no, I guess this is the cover for this floating thing, the bassinet. Okay, but that's not it. That's not it. Okay, and there's a third layer of the base and his rockets and his. It's just bullshit, man. This fuck. You know how many pieces that is?
I mean, hey,
It's like 3 layers.
Hey, bro, but think about the money that you spent on that song, but you better come with all
3 layers. Oh, the only reason I got this because I think I have purchased 1, 2, 3, 4. I got Batman Who Laughs on Sideshow. I got Captain Marvel right there, and I got the J. Scott Campbell Spider-Man Mary Jane, and I got a Miles Morales Venom, and those points accumulate to a point and I got this for half price what he was asking
Mhm.
for.
Right.
I think it was at release time. I think it was about like 395. I got this for like $180. So
Yeah. So, like I said,
thinking that I could thinking that I could put this together and display it nice somewhere up there, but with all these millions and millions of pieces, I say, hell no, this is just gonna stay in the box. And see, this Tito buying a toy and, and
it's literally plug and play. That's all
and
it
not
is.
putting it out in the box. No,
Yeah, it's
first and
literally,
last hot toy because I mean the detail. Don't get me wrong, the detail is magnificent. It's just is I mean the real actual fabric. The detail on Grogu. I mean, look at that cute mother green guys. It's cute. My wife loves it. But for me to put this together, no, because I don't have the patience and I can't do this. It's just too much. Too much.
hey,
So I
Legend
only
has
pay
a,
$180 for it. For what?
Legend has a question for you.
Why, David? Scared putting him together? Wait. Oh, wait, David. Question: do you like Captain Marvel or OG Kree from the Denver? Okay, one. Um, I never read anything that is Carol Danvers. Okay, I just gonna be out there, so you can put me in whatever category that you want. But the reason I like Carol Danvers because
Her
I like
boobs,
who was no who was the who's the actress that played Captain Marvel?
Brie
Something
Larson.
Are you
Brie
crazy?
Larson. I just like her. I just like her. That's why I decided to get
Are you
her a
just saying that
Christmas
to
present
mess with
because
her?
no, I'm just being totally out there. I'm being honest. So great legend. To your thing is, I don't know anything about the Kree or Billy Batson, whatever Captain Marvel. But wait, Billy Batson isn't he Shazam guy? I don't know what he has to do with Marvel. So anyway, so Miss
Ooh,
Marvel.
fight words for Legend. Ooh, those fight words for Legend.
So Captain Marvel because of Brie Larson, just like her appearance
I can't believe Brie
and some of
Larson's
her red
like one of the
dresses
people
that
that's
she
done
wore. I was just really. But anyway, that's the only reason why I got this statue. That's why I got two copies of Avenging Spider-Man #9. Oh no, I'm sorry, Avenging Spider-Man #7. Wait, no, #9. I'm right. The first time that Carol Danvers becomes a Captain Marvel. So I got
Yeah.
two copies of that, and that's pretty much it. Yeah. So yeah, Brie Larson, Brie or Brie, Brie. I know it's just spelled that way.
Brie.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Great Legend, if I offended you in any way or offended this whole comic book community. But I'm still a comic book collector, motherfuckers. Yeah, okay. I don't care what you guys say. I'm a comic book collector that does not read, but just have to add the actors to the character, and I'm an easy guy. And I fall for easy, yeah. And and yeah, why I started collecting comic book because I watched Civil War. God damn it! And after the Civil War came out, that the whole DC rebirth happened. So I say, you know what, I'm in, and that's whole got me into this, and here I am after 6 years. Oh, my lights went back out again.
Hey, real question. After 6 years of collecting,
Yo,
what what is it that you learned
what the?
most?
Um, don't be
Let's hear your
stupid with your money. Don't be
Research.
stupid with your money. What I mean by
Research.
stupid with your don't what I meant by don't be stupid with your money is um if you can spend $10 a week on a comic book, just spend $10 a week on a comic book. Don't go over. That's the stupidest thing because that's what I did in my first time. Is what?
You talking about
Yeah,
budgeting?
budgeting.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, budget your money. Budget your money. And
So
and
you
me
as a
being a
YouTuber,
collector and a seller. I'm sorry. What was that?
I said you as
What's
a
that, Tito?
YouTuber. I said you as a YouTuber is telling me how to collect.
No. I just gave you an advice what not to do
You're
is
big.
to go over the budget because I learned from my mistake is that once you start doing that, it's and sometimes I buy comics just to make haul videos. How stupid was that? Because I wasn't budgeting my money. I wasn't so it's
Yeah,
just
but if you're the collector that is, you had to go through that shit to get to
yeah,
who you are.
just
There's advice you
yeah. So let the hobby. What advice? What advice?
no. I'm saying there's advice
I
that you
should be
could
the last guy you guys should be asking for any advice.
no, but there's universally acceptable advice that it's applicable to everyone. There is advice like that. There is advice. I would say research is the main thing.
Yeah,
Because if you're buying the first thing you see,
Uh,
and then later you see the book for like a fraction of that price, that sucks. That's the main thing
yeah, I
that
guess
I
that's
learned when
another
I
thing.
first.
Don't have regrets of what you buy. You know, don't have regrets of what you buy, but just budget your guys' money and let the hobby pay for itself. You know, it's if you have the capital, why not? But if not, if you're going by budget, if you can't sell certain things, sell it, and with that, you know, get something else. What Alex did, he sold that UF4 to get the books that he really wanted for his Punisher collection. And but who collects Punisher anyway? He's a stupid character to begin with, just like Spawn. Spawn is a dumbass character, you know. But hey, by all means, do what you guys to make you guys happy. That's what this whole thing is about, right? Who cares what I think? And that was the whole lesson to this thing is that don't let anybody judge you for what you collect and how you collect. It's just be smart about it and don't get discouraged. Everybody has their own. Everybody has makes mistake about their collection one time in their life. Once in their time in their collection. And so as for us true real comic collectors to another true comic collectors, I said thank you very much, Alex and Tito. You guys have been a great support for me, and I love you guys. And me and Tito, we had a little thing before. He's still waiting for the Spawn thank you. It has been about 3 years. He says he's gonna send it to me. The motherfucker, he never sent it to me yet. Yes, Tito. Spawn thank you. and, and Tito was saying is, man, if I'm gonna send you something, I'll send you in my time. So it's been 3 years I have been waiting for that comic book, and Tito, I love you, man. You know that, right? we might have a little disagreement, but man, I love you, bro. And Alex, what was that?
Don't you have a thank you now?
It doesn't matter if I have one. What you say? You're gonna send it to me, brother.
Well, see now it doesn't hurt so much. It's still. I still got some shit that I gotta send to Principal Beachbags. I got some shit I gotta send to Rich. Rich just knows that he it'll get there when it gets there.
Yeah, exactly. It's like for Claus to show up Christmas party, okay? So, but one thing is, if Tito says he's going to send you there, he means it. It just don't know when he's going to be sending it. So just remember, guys. All right, just remember, it's not if it's not this Christmas, it could be next year Christmas, or it could be a decade Christmas from now. But you get it. But anyway, hey, anyway, thank you guys. So you guys want to say goodbye to these people? It's on the live chat.
Hey, appreciate it. At least in our time, it is 1:44 in the morning on the East Coast. So glad that for
Oh,
the East
man.
Coast guys, appreciate for you guys coming out and listen to three fuckers talk shit.
Alex.
Oh, it's good being on here, Dave. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah,
Good
you
chatting with you
always.
and Tito.
Yep.
Hey, Alex. On my IG. Am I following you on IG?
I don't have it anymore.
Oh, you don't have it. Okay, so I don't know because next time if I do have it, I can just send you the link to directly to your. But okay, anyway, eh,
Hang out after. We'll hang out after, and then I'll give you some stuff. Like I'll give you
okay,
some. Yeah.
all right, guys. Again, mahalo again. Until next time, guys. Aloha, mahalo, and shoots.